Hello and welcome to a video with me, Raindell. Today I'll be showing a couple of my class matches so far. I've been using a team with WOTV, Xiza, and Niv'Lu from the second day onwards, and I've been having a lot of fun with it. Obviously, there's still a lot of learning I need to do, and I'm not the best at live PvP. I am in Diamond Master, but I generally don't make the top 100. So if you want to see top tier content, I recommend you take a look at some other content creators. One I want to point to you guys right now is Daniel Boone. He's the creator of the live PvP Discord, which you definitely should join if you're interested in live PvP. But he also streams, and lately what he's been doing is spectating matches, since it's a new feature you can do, and shoutcasting them live, and it's a great learning experience for me. So I'm sure those live PvP enthusiasts out there would benefit a lot from watching that. So I'll link those in the description below if you want to take a look at that. Before we begin, I just want to show you my team. So the whole idea here is we're running two characters with very high offense that can one-shot just about anybody, and then in the case of Tabi, she'll be rather hard to kill with her barrier and high evasion. Xiza has low survivability, but she has a move of 5 and the option to either one-shot someone or charm the enemy, so it's a double type of threat. And then Niv'Lu's mainly there to reduce enemy defense or break barriers if there are these kind of barriers, and then provide haste and quicken so that we can cross the map and do some funny shenanigans. So that's the general idea. We have to be under Samurai sub, this is under Thief sub, and then obviously Niv'Lu under Time Mage. Alright, so let's look at the first battle, and I am going to try running them at 1.5 times speed. I find that generally when I comment on those matches, it's a little bit slow, and there's some time where I'm just ranting, waiting for the video to advance. So we'll try doing that, especially for the early turns. So I recommend you do live PvP with the from the top view, much easier to count hexes and count people's range. The enemy we're fighting here has some evasion in their build, and they also run Xiza Niv'Lu, so it's a pretty similar team to ours. And the biggest threat that we're facing is we don't want their Xiza to charm someone on our team. If that happens, we might very well lose. So my first priority is to make sure that they don't quicken Xiza into my team first, because that's probably a defeat for me. So at that point, what I'm doing is I'm beginning with a haste, I believe, because I don't see myself quickening her, because quicken would happen too late down the line, and I'm expecting the enemy Xiza to get a quicken herself. So yeah, so she's going to use Inherited Tyranny, so she is built more for damage, while mine is built more for speed and movement. So now, with the range that I have, I cannot get to charm the enemy Xiza. I need one more square, which also means that if I don't move forward, she can't charm me in her next turn. Now she might be quickened, so what I decide to do is to use her extra movement from Fleet of Foot and not move, because if the enemy Xiza gets quickened, she'll possibly close in, but if she doesn't get quickened, since mine didn't move, she'll actually act a little bit more fast than the enemy, and then I'll get a turn on her, which is what I was hoping, and it's actually what happens. So we both haste our Xiza, and now I didn't move, so I was last, now I'm first. And that means with my extra move that I generated with Fleet of Foot, I can now hit the enemy Xiza and take her out. So yeah, really important to know your range, and that TMR from Kitone is very important here. It's the whole reason why I managed to hit her. Now, I take the 79% hit chance. Had I missed, this match would turn to a lose. But still, 21% chance to miss is good enough for me to take the risk. And I'm thinking of switching the armor that I have on Xiza for accuracy gear, because I find that she often has a chance to miss that I think is a bit too risky for me. So I might switch that eventually. Now at that point, Xiza is stuffed, but she's done her job, right? We still have 3 units to 2, and more importantly, one of the enemy carry is a Kitone, and I'm running to B, so I can just destroy Kitone very easily. So I decide to move forward and attack. I have bells, I have unlimited AP, so the match is pretty much over at that point. I kill Kitone, and then it's just a matter of time before Niv'Lu dies, especially considering that Niv'Lu was quickening her a dead character now. So we're just going to clean that up and get our first win of the day. It was all the Xiza in the beginning that made it a win or a lose. Alright, so let's go for a second match. And it's a little bit funny because there's also a Kitone in this one. And since I'm running to B, I'm very strong against Kitone. But the other two characters could be much more threatening. 9S is very powerful, has status effects, and a couple things going for him, so he could possibly screw up our planning. And then this guy is running Masheris TMR, so everybody has a barrier. That is a very, very powerful TMR. But now, looking at his team, he's built for missile damage, and Niv'Lu has only 700 attack. So what that tells me is he has a good defense, obviously, with his setup and 9S being able to buff defense, but his offense is a little bit lackluster. With this amount of attack, they cannot one-shot anyone on our team, except for maybe our Niv'Lu, but even then, I don't think she'll go down in a single hit, which means I still have to be careful, obviously, but I'm in a scenario where I one-shot him, and he doesn't one-shot me for every unit aside from 9S. I probably can't kill 9S because of his innate defense. So yeah, first turn I move forward with Niv'Lu so she gets the crystal, because in this battle I feel like her limit break will be very important, reducing enemy defense. Then I move forward and grab another crystal with with Xiza. And the reason I do that is because since the enemy Niv'Lu didn't use bells or anything like that, I know she can't limit break right now. So I don't mind grouping my team, and also I'm quickening my own Xiza, so I'm getting to somebody. Now, they could have also been using quicken, so you always have to be wary of that. And in this scenario, I see my hit chance on Kitone is pretty low, but my hit chance on Niv'Lu is pretty good, so I take out their quickener. And we can basically say the game is over at that point, because with their two characters, again, I have to be against Kitone, so she's going down, and I don't think 900 attack 9S is going to take out anybody in a single hit. So after that, we'll be 3 people hitting him. So yeah, that's a first hit. It hits hard, don't get me wrong, but now he's out of AP, he could grab the crystal, but that would get him closer to B. That's what he does. Fine, so now he can use a couple more attacks. But I'm still at a pretty serious advantage here. So with this range, all I can use to hit him is this Whirling Vortex, which is a cool ability with a chance to confuse. So a little bit of damage, and there we go. He is super tanky compared to the other guys. And then I didn't really plan out that well my movement with the Xiza. I should have moved her a little bit more down instead of in her position, and that would allow me to use Niv'Lu's Limit Burst, but as it stands, I can't, so I'll quicken to be instead. And then I wanted to reach the enemy Kitone and kill her, but I could not do that, so I hit 9S. I'm lucky enough to land a crit with the extra crit damage from the Near card and get him out right now. Even if he had got an extra turn, I don't think he would have won, but it was something that went there. And then he's trying to stop me, the only win unit, so the biggest threat for him, and misses, so match is over. Alright, and then this final match I think is the most interesting one of the bunch, and I lose it right at the beginning from I think a mistake that I did, and I want to touch on that. So he's using double quicken Frederica, and I'm thinking I can take out Frederica in one hit, no matter if it's Xiza or to be that hits her. And in my first turn with Niv'Lu, first of all, I figure that my Niv'Lu should be casting Quicken first, because she acts before the enemy Niv'Lu. I'm not sure why, but their Niv'Lu will end up casting Quicken first. But here, I cast Quicken on Xiza, because I'm thinking Xiza moves better, so she'll get to their team. But what I didn't think about it is they are also going to get a Quicken turn, and they will probably take out Xiza. Whenever I fight a double Quicken enemy, they always choose to kill Xiza first. Why? Because the charm is such a big threat. Knowing that, I should have Quicken to be, because then the enemy team will kill Xiza and Tubi will get a double turn and take out whoever is important. So I think it was a mistake on my part to do that. And then I start moving forward, I move in a position that I can't get barraged, all that is fine. My mistake, and what I think costs me this game, is the fact that I quickened Xiza. And I'm wondering really why their Niv'Lu finishes casting before mine now. Is it related to the fact that I moved? Doesn't make much sense to me. Or does she have something that reduces casting time? But seeing the vision cards they have, they shouldn't. So this thing, I'm really not certain what happened. Because normally if my Quicken would go up first, my mistake of quickening Xiza wouldn't be that bad, right? She would have played here. But the enemy Niv'Lu finishes her spell faster, and at that point, Xiza's dead. No matter what I try here, it's really going to be very hard to kill Niv'Lu and Chel unless they miss to be a lot. So my only saving grace is relying on evasion in the from to be to survive. But the thing is, against their team, evasion will not work because they have Yerma's TMR, and I had not planned for that. So Yerma's TMR is going to provide them with a lot more accuracy, and now hitting to be is not that big a deal. So here I can choose either to buff my evasion on to be using illusion, or taking out the enemy Frederica. And obviously, taking out Frederica is the right call. She has bells and a ton of AP, and I can't deal with 3 people. Now I'm trying to turn it into a 2v2, but another mistake I made was, since I wanted to avoid the barrage, I moved my Niv'Lu sideways. That was pretty dumb, because my other guys would move forward and distance themselves from Niv'Lu anyways. And now, because I moved her to the side on the early turn, because I was afraid, she can't get to quicken to be, or haste her. So she's useless for a whole turn. That is terrible. So yeah, distanciating my Niv'Lu from the rest of my team is probably another of the things that caused me to lose this match. So here they're getting Quicken. I don't know what the enemy Niv'Lu's hit chance is. Like, is she guaranteed to hit, or does she have only some chance with her buff? But she hits me twice in a row, and at that point, it's my Niv'Lu against an enemy Niv'Lu and Chel, so she can use Quicken to her advantage. So it's pretty much over. I'll spare you the remaining moments of this match. So that was it. Don't want to keep this video too long. I know not everybody's a fan of class matches, but I think it's one of the most interesting game modes, and it is probably the one that challenges your game knowledge the most. When you're playing in auto teams, you just have to know the enemy's general ability and kits to try to counter them using the right resistances or the right positioning. But you don't necessarily need to know the exact range and height range, because the AI is going to take care of all of that for you. But I find that when you're playing these kind of class matches and manual play in general, you have to know, like, I can hit 4 square forwards, 3 squares up, so I'm going to go down so that my enemy can't hit me. There are a lot more factors that come into play, and it's really, really fun when you start getting into higher level matches where it's like a game of chess and you have to think several moves in advance. So yeah, I love this. It's very fun. So if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. It will make it more likely that you see my content in the future. And then, as always, thank you so much and have a great rest of your day.